Welcome to the ThoughtLeadership.biz podcast. My name is Chris Machut, small business owner, engineer, and passionate technology advocate for making our lives better. In this series, I share my vision of the future of technology and industry through the lens of a safety and productivity pioneer. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another inspirational episode of ThoughtLeadership.biz. I am Chris Machut, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the highs and the lows of entrepreneurship. Because believe me, there are definitely both. People often say they like surprises, but that's not really true. For example, taking a leisurely stroll in the park one sunny morning and then being shot in the ass with an arrow would be a surprise. But it wouldn't be a nice one, especially when you found out that tied to it was a nasty letter from your wife's divorce lawyer. So, if you're seriously contemplating embarking on the path of an entrepreneur, then I must warn you, it really isn't a walk in the park. There are potentially deadly arrows flying about all over the place, ready to strike you down and leave you lying on the floor, writhing in agony and wallowing in self-pity. It's also extremely lonely at the top. And I don't mean the top of your game. I mean at the top of the leadership tree. That said, there are also some stunning views from up there too. Views that make you glad you took the chance to walk the entrepreneurial gauntlet in the first place. So the question I'm asking today is, how do we get to the top of the entrepreneurial tree and enjoy it while we're up there? But before we do that, I'd better remind you to check out all my latest podcasts and articles over at ThoughtLeadership.biz. You can also see me on YouTube, listen via Spotify and Anchor FM, or get on over to my Apple and Google podcasts. I'm also active on Twitter and LinkedIn, where you can subscribe for notifications. Okay, let's start with number one. Get comfortable with discomfort. Top entrepreneurs don't shy away from getting out of their comfort zone. They relish it. They understand that achieving something in a new area, market, or discipline, especially when it's achieving something that others have failed in, is one of the greatest highs of all. They understand that comfort often breeds complacency, and there's no room for complacency at the top of the tree. Number two, get connected and get ahead. Networking is key. Harness the power of LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and other platforms to spread the word and reach out to investors, potential customers, advisors, and others who can make a difference. However, simply using these platforms to get yourself out there is something very different to harnessing their true potential. And those who do so do better. In 2022, competition is fiercer than ever, and the mechanisms for ranking high and maintaining visibility and influence online are only getting more complex. So, considering hiring specialists to help supercharge your networking and marketing strategies so that you make maximum impact online. Number three, pick your team well. As I've said, it can be lonely at the top. So, if you really want to make it work, make sure that your team works first. You'll need to support them, and so will they. You'll make mistakes, and so will they. And at the end of the day, the effectiveness of the team is often what makes and breaks a company. So try to find people who feel as passionately, or almost as passionately, about your business as you do. When you've done so, do your very best to keep them. Listen to them, nurture them, make sure that they know that you trust them so that they can trust in you. Fourth is being consistent. We've all heard it before. Consistency is key. And it is, period. It's impossible to be an effective leader and established entrepreneur if you aren't consistent because there's simply too much competition. If you don't provide what the customer needs, someone else will. I guarantee it. Lastly, have fun. Sure, Starting up and then leading your own business is going to be stressful. No one's pretending it won't be. There will be some very high highs and some very low lows. But at the end of the day, you've got to be having fun. Maybe not all the time, but at least some of it. After all, if you're not having fun, what is the point? Most of us get into this game because it's our passion. But sometimes, somewhere along the way, we lose that spark of life that created the motivation to do it all in the first place. One surefire way to lose that spark and stop having fun is by isolating yourself and trying to go it alone. Serious entrepreneurship isn't only a very lonely ship to sail, it is also a very difficult one. Before you realize it, you've cast yourself adrift into a vast ocean, depths of which you have no way to measure, and the direction in which you're actually headed is uncertain. And the seas are often very stormy. So you'll need the support from colleagues, friends, and family. But it's also helpful to have the support from other entrepreneurs. And that's the main reason I started ThoughtLeadership.biz in the first place. So let's make the most of it and help each other navigate the willy waters of the 21st century business together. Because we're stronger with each other. All right. Before I burst into tears like a big, fat, bearded, blubbery baby, let's wrap it up. We all have our own motivations for starting a business. Some want the freedom. Some want the potential fame. Some want to change the world. And most are achieving their dreams. On the way to doing so. When we work by doing what we love, it makes the endless hours in the office or staring at the screens worth it. Each day seems like a new opportunity to make a difference and move things forward, achieving our goals and realizing whatever dream it is we have. It makes the lows just about as bearable as the highs. Well, they kind of make you kind of high, right? But we've got to watch our backs. Not just because of the competition, but because we're sometimes in danger of steaming ahead solo and isolating ourselves. If we do that, the lows will feel even lower, and the huge highs will feel, flat. Success always feels better when we celebrate it with others, especially those others that have a hand in making the magic happen too. This is Chris Machut. See you next time, and keep talking out there. Thank you again for listening to this ThoughtLeadership.biz podcast. I'm Chris Machut. For additional information on this podcast, including additional sites where you can stream from, make sure to visit us online at www.ThoughtLeadership.biz in your favorite web browser. I wish you a safe and productive day.